What's going on, everyone? We're back today. Pick 6 Athletics bringing you another classic. This video is going to be on how to never have muscle cramps. This past season, the few first games, I was having some issues with cramps, so I figured there's probably athletes everywhere that you might have a cramp once in a while. So we're just going to go through some things I learned. I went kind of deep into the research and just figured out some tips, some essentials that you need, and hopefully you'll never have any cramping issues again. Now, I've been playing football for about 11 or 12 years, and I never had this issue before, and it just came all of a sudden this year. So even if you haven't, make sure you listen to the end just for some tips, because you never know when they might come in handy. And one thing, if you're a high school kid or someone going away where you're going to have to take care of yourself and have your own diet, these will just be some of the things to make sure you have in your diet to help mitigate the issue of cramps. Because sometimes you might just eat a bunch of home-cooked meals or microwave food, whatever, but you really have to take into account different nutrients and minerals, all that type of stuff when it comes to taking care of your body as an athlete. So we're going to look at nutrients today, hydration with drinks, actually being in the right shape. Then we have some other tips also. So number one, we're going to look at some of the different nutrients, as you can see highlighted here: calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium. So these are the most important ones to have a balanced diet, a lot of these in your body when it comes to cramping. Calcium actually does a lot for yourself: bones, teeth, muscle function, contraction, relaxation is a big one when it comes to cramping. And then it does some other big things for you there. So my favorite thing for calcium is just drinking chocolate milk. It's pretty, it tastes really good. There's a good amount of sugar in it too, so you might want to be careful, but I like it. Here are just some other things with a lot of calcium in to help you not cramp. Different types of seeds, cheese, dairy products are all pretty good with calcium. Yogurt, salmon, beans, almonds, nuts are pretty good. Whey protein. Then leafy greens also, spinach, kale. I'm not sure about broccoli, but that's pretty good for you in other ways too. So here are just some things there for calcium. Next thing we're going to look at is magnesium, which is a huge one for having your muscles relax and cramp. So my favorite thing, there's a lot of different options: spinach, seeds, it's similar, just healthy foods. My favorite things for magnesium though is pumpkin seeds, which I've been getting at Costco recently for a pretty good deal. So just the serving 100 grams has 65% of your daily intake needed. Compared to some other foods, this is a really good number. So I just been eating like not a cup, but a bit less, a lot of pumpkin seeds every day, get the magnesium in. And I've definitely noticed a difference just with muscle twitches, cramps, all that. Third thing is potassium. As you all know, bananas really helpful to not cramp. So I'll have 2 in the morning and just some other foods throughout the day to help with potassium. I think personally, calcium and magnesium are the 2 most important, but definitely get your bananas in. Here are some other options to get that potassium. If you're like me, you already eat a lot of chicken. And then the fourth thing with nutrition, which some people will think it's really weird, but with your sodium, the fourth one. So I've talked to some other athletes and they might eat chips or like fries, something that's just a bit salty, even if it's a bit unhealthy, just to get it in you. I just take like sea salt or whatever and put maybe a tablespoon, a bit less worth in my hand. And before games, that's the only time I really do this, but I'll just lick it off my hand and just eat all of it, take it down with a bit of water. It's really disgusting, but it hasn't really failed me yet. So I definitely recommend just lots of salt, chocolate milk, bananas, and pumpkin seeds. Also, spinach, broccoli are 2 others, which have a good balance of the things here. So now on to drinks. The main thing with drinks is just making sure you're hydrated. A few hours before your game, you should be peeing clear and just keep hydrated throughout it. At halftime, drink some water, all that. But aside from water, making sure your pee's clear or just about to know you're hydrated. 2 things that I got on this year after I had those cramping issues were one thing called Pedialyte, and there's a few different options for it. It's pretty much like Gatorade, but on steroids. So it just gives you more electrolytes and some other, hydration things. It says it hydrates you faster than water. So this one right here is my go-to for the year. I started taking these before games, and this pack especially comes with 6 sticks. It's like powder. You just mix it with a bottle of water. So I'd have that in the morning, right before the game, at halftime, and it makes a crazy difference, whether it's mental or not. A few of my teammates got on this grind this year, and we've never felt better at halftime in the second half, and didn't have any cramping issues after starting taking Pedialyte. The other drink I started taking, so Pedialyte I got at Shoppers Drug Mart. It's just, I don't know, any drugstore probably you could find it, or other things like it. There's Hydrolyte, some other substitutes. Nutriment is another thing I started taking. This is the second drink, and it tastes really good to start with. There's protein. Then the main reason is, if you look here, there's a shit ton of magnesium. It's hard to highlight. There's a good amount of calcium here, and just a bunch of other vitamins and minerals, other stuff that I imagine helps. Now, again, in this one, there's a lot of sugar, so you don't want to have it all the time, but definitely before games, the Pedialyte, Nutriment, if you have cramping issues, this will really help them out. I'll talk about being the actual physical shape, because when I was having the issues, I figured, all right, what's everything that could be the possible issue? Coconut water could be an awesome thing for a drink, but yeah, when I was thinking about why am I having cramps, I've never had these before, my diet changed because I eat pretty basic, just like a lot of chicken, eggs, pasta, just pretty basic. So I had to add that milk, magnesium, pumpkin seeds, spinach, broccoli, salt, bananas. I made sure I added those to the diet. Would make sure I was hydrated and had those electrolytes, salt. I figured what else was missing, and I realized that on game day, it would definitely be the largest volume day for me of running out of the week by far. And when you're in better shape, it's I'll pull up this article here, but when you're in better shape, you're just less likely to cramp. If you haven't ran for a while and you start running, you often get those side cramps in the abs. My cramps were always in the legs, but I figured I just have to run a bit more. So a couple times a week after practice, I just get out and do some 100s or 200 stride and get that volume in. So when it comes time to the game, I'm already in better condition shape and could just keep running longer. So just quick sum up before we move on to some additional tips. Calcium, magnesium, potassium, salt. Make sure you're drinking electrolytes, being super hydrated, and then run a lot. Because if you're in really good shape, the likeliness of cramping goes down drastically. And then just some tips to finish off with. One is sleep. If your muscles are more relaxed and if they're twitching here or there, obviously you just want to make sure you're getting your sleep in. As an athlete, you're 8 hours. And as a student athlete myself, I know that you might think you just want 6, maybe even less hours because you're really busy with stuff, but it really should be your number one priority as an athlete, is getting that proper sleep in. It makes a huge help in a lot of aspects of your performance. So the tips: number 1, make sure you're getting your sleep in. 2, stretch. It just helps to elongate, relax your muscles, and decrease the likelihood of cramping. 3, when you do have cramps, stretching them out and massaging them a bit. If it happens during a game or at night, happens kind of often, just try to massage the muscle. I have a massage gun, and sometimes my calves might cramp up. I just put it on it lightly, and it just relaxes the muscle and the cramp goes away. And last thing, I'm just going to stress this more, make sure you're really hydrating a lot. Drink water when you wake up, go to bed. You just want to have your full body hydrated, full of water. Get that pee almost clear. Might sound funny, but definitely works. So quick sum up. Nutrients, make sure you're getting calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium. You're staying hydrated. If it's Pedialyte, Nutriment, whatever it might be, even if you just need some water, stay hydrated. Then some other tips: sleep, stretch, and get massages. You want to relax your muscles, make sure you have the capacity that you could take a lot of running. So relax your muscles, be able to take that volume, and then have the nutrients. So when you do it for a long time, fourth quarter of the game, you don't have to worry about cramps anymore, and you can just go out there and play your game. So with that being said, that's it for the video today. Make sure you check out the rest of the channel, because cramping is just one part. Now that you're not going to cramp anymore, we got lots of good workouts on Pick 6 Athletics, primarily made for football players, but any athlete could benefit from it. So subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more.